I began this painting back in November, when I was accepted into Haven Gallery's Little Big Show. The theme was a big idea contained in a small work of art. Love was the first and biggest theme that came to mind. I decided to paint Cupid, the god of love, at the moment when he realizes that he's wounded himself with his own arrow. This scene is part of the story of Cupid and Psyche. Psyche was a mortal woman who was so beautiful that Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, grew jealous. She sent her son Cupid, the god of love, to strike Psyche with an arrow in her sleep, cursing her to fall hopelessly in love with some hideous monster, like Titania and Bottom in A Midsummer Night's Dream. However, when Cupid saw Psyche, he was so startled by her beauty that he wounded himself on his own arrow and fell in love with her. Cupid, who has caused so many pangs of love in human hearts, now felt the same agony. I wanted to paint a scene where Cupid has retreated from Psyche's palace and sits contemplating his wound. I think that for Cupid, the entire world would look strange and different to him. The god of love, who has never felt love, now understands it. Perhaps it gave him a new sense of humility. Mortal or god, love brings all of us to our knees. In The King's Care, or The King's Book, a poem believed to have been written by James I of Scotland during the 15th century, the poet speaks of Cupid having 3 different types of arrows. And in a chair of state beside, with wings bright, all plumed but his face, there saw I sit the blind god Cupid, with bow in hand that bent full ready was, and by him hang 3 arrows in a case, of which the heads sharpened were full right, of divers metals forged fair and bright. And with the first, that head is of gold, he smiteth soft, and that has easy cure. The second was of silver, manifold worse than the first, and harder aventure. The third of steel is shot without recourse. Meaning that the love wound from the steel-tipped arrow has no cure. Of course, in this painting, Cupid's arrow is steel-tipped. You've been watching me work on the underpainting. This stage of painting is one that I've struggled with, but I enjoy the freedom of working in loose brush strokes. The goal of an underpainting is to establish color and value without getting caught up in details. My teacher Howard Lyon says that when the underpainting is finished, you should be able to step back from your easel, squint, and get a good idea of how the finished painting is going to look. Taking the time to do an underpainting always pays off for me. I used to work section by section, finishing and perfecting one area before moving on to the next. But I always ended up with skin tones or values that were off somehow, and I had trouble getting my painting to look unified. Adding an underpainting helped solve these issues, since it forced me to put down paint across my entire canvas and see it as a whole before starting the detail work that I enjoy so much. I finished this painting in time for the December show, and I'd hoped to have this video posted in time for the show's opening. But one of the challenging but wonderful things about being an artist and a small business owner is that for now, I wear every hat. I'm the marketing director, the social media coordinator, the accountant, the videographer, and of course, the artist. so my time is stretched thin. Hopefully as 2022 progresses, I'll get into a more regular update schedule, barring any more apocalypses, of course. In the meantime, thank you for coming along with me on this painting journey. I'm always grateful for the chance to share my art and the stories that inspire me. I'll see you in the next video.